Hello and greetings to you wherever you may be on this beautiful blue planet, the third rock from the sun. My name is Anthony Altman, and this today, excuse me, this is the third video I'm doing today, and I'm getting a little. Today's date is the 15th of April 2024. And this is the third video, really, relative to the revelations I experienced during my 4 weeks of muscle injury, which confined me to bed for a number of weeks. And I'm very pleased to say that I'm now recovering quite well, a little bit slower than I would like. This video is part of the Inspirational series number 14, I believe. And the title is Do Less and Accomplish More. This is really quite a profound concept. And behind me is a man who had climbed to the top of a mountain. I'm going to lean over so you can see the image better. This concept of doing less and accomplishing more has everything to do with success, but it's not the conventional way of achieving success, like climbing the mountain. And I couldn't really get an image that suited what I wanted to say, because what I'm wanting to say is more subtle, more obscure, really. But I think this image of the mountain and this man on the top of the mountain will serve its purpose. Many, many years ago, in the 70s, I was with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi of the Transcendental Meditation movement. He has since passed on, and I spent quite a few years meditating and being with Maharishi, became a teacher, did the city program, whatever in those days. And Maharishi would often tell us, do less and accomplish more, which is half of the full statement. I'm going to give you the other half soon. And I couldn't understand what he meant. Do less, accomplish more. I was conditioned to work hard, and if I didn't achieve what I wanted, I was to work harder. And it was only later, in later years, that I began to realize that instead of working harder, it would be far better for me to work smarter, which referred back to what Maharishi was saying, do less and accomplish more. And so I was reasonably comfortable with that. The other part, which is, well, the first part again is do less, accomplish more. And the second part is do nothing and achieve everything. Well, I couldn't understand that. It didn't make sense to me. And yet, while I was lying in bed after this muscle injury, severe muscle injury, please go to my previous video, the letting go of the inspirational videos, number 13, I think, 12. I can't even remember. It's called Letting Go. And I explain exactly what happened to me on the 11th of March. And it's a prelude to what I'm saying now, and even the video just before. I've done 3 videos up to now on the subject. And I'm lying in bed, suffering, feeling a little sorry for myself, going through these revelations and learning and growing and having quite a wonderful time, even though I was in severe pain. And then it actually dawned on me what doing nothing and achieving everything really means. Now, I first heard this concept in the 70s, 76, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. These were the years that I was with the Transcendental Meditation movement. And it is only now in 2024 that I fully appreciate, to the extent that I am able, what Maharishi was telling us. So achieving, do less and accomplish more means work smarter, basically. I think we can understand that's quite logical. Doing nothing and achieving everything is a completely different matter. And this video is my attempt to explain how I perceive this concept. First of all, achievement, accomplishment means different things to different people. For the majority of people, accomplishment is a PhD, making lots of money, a successful business, having a healthy family, having a motor car, 2 cars, 3 cars, having $1 billion, $2 billion, $100 billion. In reality, this is not what accomplishment and achievement is all about. Because everything that is accomplished or achieved on the physical level is temporary. The Buddhists say impermanent. It just doesn't last long. And it's very good, really, because if you were sick and you never recovered, that would not be good. So if you're sick, the tendency is that you recover, generally speaking. If you are having a bad time, you have made a fortune and then you lose the fortune, you can recover. The unpleasant part is when you've recovered your fortune and then you lose it again, which I've done twice. That's not so pleasant. But what I'm trying to explain is that everything changes in the physical world. It's not stable. It doesn't last. And why is that? Because it's an illusion. There are theses upon theses and books written that describe our physical world of form as a simulation, holographic. There are many books. There's one called The Holographic Universe by, I think, Michael Talbot. Wonderful book. Plenty of circumstantial evidence and other evidence that does help us understand that the world of physical form is not so physical. I explain it. I'm not a scientist, but I do read a lot, or I used to anyway. And I pride myself in having educated myself, self-educated myself quite well. It's illogical for anything in physical form to have physical form, to be solid. It's illogical. Why? Because if you go to the atom, which is the basic structure of physical form, the composition of the atom is a nucleus and the various particles, the photon, the electron, and the neutron flying around, and the largest constituent of the atom is space. So how come this table is solid? The wall is solid. I cannot answer that because it's not really solid, and yet it is. And this demands a completely different discussion, which is not pertinent to this video. But what I'm trying to, or doing my best to illustrate, is that everything in the physical form does not last. It's not permanent. So success and accomplishment is better in terms of consciousness, individual potential, human potential, and developing the totality of who and what we are, our full potential. And considering we're only seeing less than 5%, some people say even less than 1% of the light spectrum, we see such a narrow band of light energy that we are virtually blind. We are using only 4%, according to the scientists, of our DNA. And we're using no more than 5%, maybe 6 or 7% of our mental potential. We are really operating subpar, would you not say? So would it not be better to develop more of our potential? What would we be able to accomplish if we were using 10 or 15% of our minds, of our mental potential, of our DNA, and what we could see if we saw 10%, 15% of a wider light spectrum? Wow. So as I'm lying in bed, suffering, dwelling upon these incredible deep issues, I had one revelation after another, and one revelation was telling me that what Maharishi was saying totally depended upon how efficient I was in attuning myself to the electromagnetic energy of creation and flowing with what is. See, flowing was not always something that I was good at. I had to physically do something. And it has taken me many years to learn to let go of this egoic sense of self and to attune myself to creation and flow with what I am resonating with. These are big issues, big subjects, and yet it makes all the difference to us whether we suffer or not, whether we achieve or not, with ease or with difficulty, to the degree that we are able to flow and attune ourselves with creation and the electromagnetic energy of creation, realizing that our thoughts are electromagnetic. And if we have thoughts and desires and we wish to accomplish something, then all we are to do is to attune ourselves into that frequency, that electromagnetic frequency, and the ability to accomplish it or achieve it is without effort. Without effort. This is something that we humans do not understand. The fact that I injured myself was very interesting, and I'll explain why. This is different to what I said in the video Letting Go. I am a very independent sort of person. I covet my independence. I don't like asking anybody to help me. I want to do it myself. This is how dysfunctional my ego became. And I would give myself excuses. Well, I'm useful. and I can help other people. And I wanted to put this light up on the ceiling. It broke. It broke down, and I had to replace it. So I'm replacing it, and I want to be able to do it, to say, I did that. I'm still useful. I'm not without use. This is ego. My friend was here at the time I was doing it, and he's a builder. He knows, and he's younger than me, and he can do all this stuff. And he said, would you like me to do it for you? I said, no, 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 I'm going to do it. I want to do this. I want to show myself that I can still do these things. Ego talking. And that's why I injured myself. Now, had I been more attuned to this concept of doing less and accomplishing more, doing nothing and achieving everything, when my friend said, let me do it for you, and if I had said, oh, thank you very much, please do, it would have been achieved without me doing anything. Big lesson. Big lesson. When we have opportunities that something can be done whereby we can achieve or accomplish something without actually having to work hard, or we're doing a little less, or doing nothing at all, it is very rare that we are able to recognize such an opportunity. And we do not recognize such opportunities because we are limited in our perception. We are limited by all the programming and the beliefs and the patterns of behavior that cause us to believe differently to how the universe really operates. Huge lesson for me. I'm very grateful. The 4 weeks of intense physical pain was well worth all the lessons that I have learned. I don't want to experience that again, but what I've learned, what I've achieved on a personal level is incredible. And I'm sharing this with you. I'm opening my heart to you. I'm publicizing to you, the public, my innermost life, really. Why am I doing this? It's certainly not ego. It's because I do believe that humanity has a wonderful opportunity to make some positive changes, and that can only occur when individual people do that first. And I'm here to help inspire and motivate people. If I'm learning this, if I'm able to do this, if I'm able to experience these things, then so can you. And maybe you can do it even better and sooner, because I'm 78 and maybe you are 28, 38, 48. And if you can learn these things sooner, you will be able to make a much better contribution to society by being the change that we all want to see on this planet. So do less and accomplish more, work smarter, work with consciousness. It's not smarter intellectually, it's smarter with consciousness, conscious awareness. So how do you develop that? Well, I talk a lot about that in all my videos. And if you're interested, contact me. I'll be happy to share with you, talk to you, discuss it with you. It's not that difficult. Develop our consciousness. Develop more of our potential. And then the other part, do nothing and achieve everything. Wow. When we are able to learn these truths on a deeper level, this is when we become ready to build a golden age for humanity, which is prophesied. It may be down the road a bit. It may not be in my lifetime, or maybe even in your lifetime, but it starts today, depending on how we change ourselves for the better, how we make positive changes within each one of us individual selves. And when sufficient of us are doing that, then it will be reflected in humanity. And that's when we can start building the foundation for our golden age. And on that wonderful note, I say to you, au revoir, adios, goodbye, until next time, and thank you for joining me on this road less traveled. Until next time.